Oh yes, this is the Hardcore Marketing Show. I'm Casey Cheshire, your host for this epic journey. Today's show is sponsored by Ringmaster, on a mission to launch B2B podcasts that create relationships, generate revenue, and drive growth. Ringmasterlive.com. Bam. Oh dear God, I just hit record.
All right.
This adventure is beginning. I can't put it back in the box. I'm excited. I literally have a giant coffee. I have a giant gallon of water. I am prepared for this. And in a moment, you'll know why. Let me introduce you to my guest today. He is energy. He is smart. He is an entrepreneur. And he is a video marketing strategist and thought leader long before preaching the good word, long before it was cool. Long before people even realized the power of it. He's been out there saying, this is the thing. And I can't wait to learn from him. He is the godfather of video, and we're just going to extract as much knowledge as we can. He's also fun to listen to, fun to talk to. He brings that energy. I am in trouble without all this beverage. He's the host of the Video Playbook series on LinkedIn. He's also the managing partner at TRO Video. Isaac Miranda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That's the most amazing intro I probably will ever get. That was awesome.
That's right. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. I gotta live up to the godfather of video. I'm using that, by the way.
There you go. And I expect you, as you have in the past, you show up to a video playing an electric guitar. I expect you now to show up in a Godfather costume and preach the good word about video. So I got to just pass this over to you. We want to start the show the way we start every show. I'm going to hand you this thing, but you are a giant amongst men, and I know you work out, so it shouldn't be that heavy to you, but oh God, it's heavy. Okay, here we go. Thor's hammer. Take that. Receive the hammer. Oh, look at it. Respectful two-hand grab, everyone. That was fantastic.
Okay, put it over. It's so
Isaac,
heavy.
Take Thor's hammer. No, don't put it down. Grab that. Hold on to that. Smash for me some kind of marketing myth, bogus strategy, misconception. Set the record straight once and for all.
All right. Yes. So we're here to bust a myth, and I love busting up myths. And the biggest myth today that's driving me nuts, that I'm preaching everywhere I can get somebody to listen to me say it, is that a website is not a video. It's not 2015 and every 5 years you need a new website. And now you got your About Us video. And that thing's good. We got all of our people in it, and it's going to last us for 3 or 5 years. And I'm trying to say, don't make a video, use video. You have problems in your business, solve your business problems with video. Stop treating it like a website. You're driving me nuts.
Yeah, it's that old check the box, do it once. And I was going to say, those About Us team videos, they're almost out of date the moment they go live.
Oh, yeah. You many times I've had to reshoot. Oh, yeah, that guy quit. Got to reshoot the whole thing. I'm like, bro, let's diversify that message away.
What do you do? Do you Photoshop that guy out? Like, oh, that's Greg.
Yeah, there's only so much we can do in post. So no, we can't do that. But no, we try to advise people like, hey, is this guy like a partner or something? Is he going to be here for a while?
Yeah.
But yeah, the message is don't make a video, use video. That's the idea.
I love this. Where does this myth come from? Where do we get the idea that we can just, we heard about it at a seminar, video is cool. We heard about it on this podcast, and we just do it once. We treat it like a tactic. Where does this come from?
People operate off what they know. And if you're a small, medium business owner, you've gotten by on doing this very thing. You got your website, you figured out you probably need SEO by now. Okay. And then they're maybe realizing you can't ignore social. I mean, this is the level of some of the people that we work with, and that's okay. They have businesses running and so they're realizing this. And now they're understanding, wow, video, I should not only have a video, but use it. And they don't get it that what's the new stat? 70, there's high 70s. The percentage of online consumption is straight across video. Just really? All bandwidth of all the internet is 79% video, maybe even higher. So do you really think you're getting your message out not using 79% of the traffic out? So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So we it's like you hear this tactic, and you just try your best. It's almost like doing on, you don't know any better. You don't know the strategy behind it. You just know the tactics. So you're like, I just will record something and throw that little WAV file on my homepage and not really thinking about the big picture. So if that's making a video, how do we use video? How do we do it the right way?
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome question. You start out by just having a problem you need to solve. And every business has some little roadblocks. So for this quarter, our big problems we're trying to solve are maybe recruiting. Maybe everyone thinks we're too expensive. Maybe no one knows we exist. Maybe we opened a new location and no one knows we exist there. So there's always like, here's a little grenades that are blowing up in our path. Let's get them out of the way. So let's solve those problems with, the recruiting video. It's real. You can get people to find out that you're there and that you're a good place to work. Imagine if every other shop in town has no recruiting video and you do. You're already like steps ahead of everybody else. So that kind of stuff. So step one is just identify your business problem you want to solve.
God, you know what's fascinating about that? That is so the right step anywhere. What are we trying to get done here, right? And so to have people hear you, like that's the kind of, I'm not, this is not going to be a shill podcast for TRO Video, but I'm so impressed with that answer, because how many times, when they're doing it, when they're just making video, they're just making the thing. They're not thinking about, what am I trying to solve here? Why make an HR video if HR is not a problem, right? You're just doing it to do it. But you're saying, is there a particular challenge in the business you have? Next time you have a problem you identify, try solving it with video. Specifically. Yeah.
You have to, you know what? If you haven't been like a small business owner yourself, you almost can't have those conversations. A lot of people, what if you're just a salesperson that's a consultant and you're trying to sell some video? You might not go there. You might like, here's what all the companies in the world are doing, and here's the result. But you're not just talking to Joe Schmo going, what are you struggling with right now? You know what I mean? And so maybe that's why it's not so common, but it seems very, to you and I, common sense to approach it this way.
Got it. So you start with a problem. We've identified a problem. Maybe you got some shitty Glassdoor reviews. I don't know. You got an issue. And so you're like, okay, problem identified. Step one, identified a business problem. What do we do now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the next is, so in Video Club, which is our way that we do business, we create a video playbook. And so we get their big rocks of like what we're trying to solve this year. And then we look at, like in a recruiting video, you need to know what other people are doing. You need to know the audience really well of who they're trying to recruit. And once you understand your message and your audience, like all pieces, come on, this is marketing 101, targeting, message, and how can you distribute and get it out there. So we work through that and make them a video playbook and just say, look, the most important thing sounds like is recruiting. Secondly, you never did a formal about us video. Let's crank that out. And then later on, there's a big trade show in the wintertime that you go to. Let's do a big show that a video to pump you about that. So we make a playbook, and then we just create, you need to write and voice the video. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's telling a little story.
There's a lot that goes into it. You mentioned researching other people. Like, do your competitors have anything?
Yes.
If they do, what does it look like? What kind of things are you looking for if you do a quick little research on your competitors or on other people? What are you trying to find out? You know what?
This is, it's easiest to get this data from your client. They're going to know, look, this and this and this. I like this person's marketing. I wish we were like them. These are arch enemies. Here's, where we're at and I need to know, are you the Mercedes-Benz of the deal, or are you, the lower down, where you at in the market? We need to know all that. And then we can really do a little bit of research that maybe they have already done, but it's nice to have a third party do it and come up with, here's where everyone's zigging. Let's zag. They all look really corporate and stiff. Let's have a little bit of fun. Or everyone's trying to look everyone's very unprofessional, but you need trust because you're selling insurance products. Let's go with a professional kind of and so that is what we advise. And it just takes a little bit of time. But then, and then also how you voice the video. There's got to be, the biggest thing is that people have to see the person you're trying to persuade. They have to see themselves in that video or that story or that problem. And it's got to happen in the first, 10, 12 seconds. Oh, that thing. Oh my gosh. I literally live that little drama every week. Like they're seeing themselves on it. So
they see themselves reflected in that. And the only way you can do that is to circle back around to what you're saying. Researching other people, researching the audience, understanding where you fit in that market. So you research the market, you understand where you fit, but also understanding, whether you're doing this for someone else or for yourself, understanding. I love that. Should we show up as the luxury car, or are we the people's car, or are we the safe car? Like it's important because why? You're going to be able to make that, you can be able to share that feeling through video. You're going to be able to, should we make this tight, slick, is it a Porsche? What is it? Or are we getting dirty? We're getting our Jeep, we're getting mudding, what kind, or is it a truck? We're tough. But understanding, talk to me about the art behind that. Cause I get the sense that you have this, knowing all these things about the market and where they want to fit and play. How are you able to show those things in the video?
It's everything from, do you go animated? First of all, do you go live with B-roll and titles? Okay, so it's like a live video, but with titles and sound effects and music, and you're telling a story. There's text-only videos, almost where it's like printing out text. And then there's also just full-on animated. One of our favorite ones is a combo of, but how you want to present is part of that decision. So a lot of technology companies with explainer videos, pharmaceuticals, they all love the animated explainer thing. You got the little thing that's floating along and it breaks out for the 4 parts and it goes, and here's you, and here's what you want to happen. And we're helping the whole, and then so that's part of how you want to come off. A lot of construction companies just want live stuff. We got trucks and we've got job sites, and we want you to aerial shot our thing that we're building and show some boots on the ground with the slow-mo dust coming off the, we're here. That's so, right. And they want classic rock, backing tracks and more, whereas, the pharmaceutical people are going to be more sophisticated, and then my personal favorite is just new wave, like a new wave genre of, what I hate though is those ukulele music. What? I'm just so sick. We have a couple of bugaboos and we won't do ukulele. I just pull it right out.
What, like Bugaboo Creek?
Hey, you have a problem. Bling, 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 bling. The ukulele track, the one.
I haven't seen these. I feel like I'm missing out.
You're going to hear ukulele behind every video now, and you're going to just want to barf.
I feel like we need our producer to find us some ukulele music for the rest of this episode. What do you think? Do that?
I should get it. I have a ukulele. I'm not against it. I play ukulele, but it's just done a lot.
Do you have your ukulele with you right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's probably a good thing.
I can almost play you the very song everyone uses. Yeah. I can almost play it.
That means you're part of the problem, Isaac.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so it's not, now what about that music? It's not consistent with their brand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you got a group of people that don't take themselves overly seriously and they're really kind of down to earth and they do this for a living, make it more fun or something like I said, classic rock. And then you could go no music, but you also need, your sound effects. So the whole video is just crafted to you got to imagine that person that's going to be watching this video, the perfect score. This one person that really didn't understand that we did all these things, and they're the kind of person that buys our thing, and now they get it. Well, what would that music have? Well, it would have, heck, we'll go classical. I'll do anything. I don't care. It's got to work. So,
but it has to align to the mission.
Yes.
How critical is music?
Music is, it could turn a video around. If you can get the right music track and then even pull it out and pull it back in at certain points, you've just taken a video from a C- to an A-. Can it's level up. Even bigger than music though. I was just talking to my editor and he was saying sound will make or break a video. Like, okay, sound. If you've got good sound, it's nice and crispy and everything kind of comes. And the other day we had that happen, and we had a video, we're watching it and we're like, why do I hate this so much? And it was the sound. You would be amazed how much it changes things.
Sound or sound or music? You're saying like the
I'm saying the sound, like the vocal.
Oh,
like the vocals.
The
vocals are
sound?
too quiet. They're too crunchy or muffled. A little of that has to do with the person not being a mush mouth. If you're just articulating, that helps too. But
I feel like I'm a mush mouth. I feel like, how do I fix that? Am I a mush mouth?
I don't think you're a mush mouth.
Oh, thank you.
I've never thought that. You come out, you articulate really good.
Okay, cool. My mom was a speech pathologist growing up, so like I feel like I got something from that somehow.
I had a lead singer in my band that was a mush mouth.
Oh, but was it like a mush band? Was it like a?
He was like, "I'm dreaming of my soul, I hear my line. What the
place for that?
My dreams are saying.
This company is really nice.
Like, no. And then he just wouldn't. You got to open your mouth. Anyways, that's another.
Okay, so we got a lot of stuff. So, so the music's important. Okay, we have to get to the vocals in a second.
I jumped ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of things, and head wherever. We're just going to jump around. But any final thoughts on music? Ukulele only fits if that's your brand. It needs to fit. Any cautionary tales on music?
Yeah. Oh my. Well, copyright free, obviously. So
tell me about that. Yeah, because like
boots on the ground. Go into your YouTube. If you have a channel, go into YouTube Studio. Go to YouTube Audio Library. And I think you can even search YouTube Audio Library without being a studio member. But anyways, all royalty free. And if sometimes someone will ask for an attribution, but it's still royalty free, meaning use it for yourself, or a person like me could use it in like a video for hire.
So like I could literally look this up right now and play this, and we don't get removed from YouTube.
Right. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite creators, this guy, Otis McDonald, is fire. He's all over YouTube, free music. His music is all the cool news, feel sounds that you want. The only thing I haven't heard him do is like, I think he doesn't done a whole lot of like guitar-y, bluesy stuff, but everything else is just in the pocket. I just want to give him dibs. I've used him so much, and he's just an awesome creator.
Got it. Okay, so we got the YouTube Studio, the audio library. Looks good. We got some categories in there, and then we got our guy Otis McDonald, who we got to check out here. So, and you can like download his tunes, just give him.
Yeah. So you'll see. You can even filter by Otis, but they have all the genre is dark, angry, or bright, or classic, and they'll have genres, and they'll have instruments, drums, guitar, and so you can go theatrical, moody, and then it'll show you. But it also shows by artists, and so there's a filter there for that, and you could just type in Otis McDonald, and he just got a bunch of good bops, good medium feel, funky bops with slight vocals. Here's another thing: you can't have the feel of the track. Can't have this big spiky. If it's like a nice mellow track, and then this really loopy, like hippie sounding sitar comes in, and then here's your vocal track. I'm trying to talk, and then the vocals are fighting with the sitar. I'm like, nah.
Yes, this is
Yes, you can't. So Otis McDonald has a bunch of killer tracks that stay in the mid-range pocket that don't overact your vocal. I don't know how to explain it. They're great.
No, I totally get that, man. It's like low, middle, high, and if your voice is getting into that middle high stuff, and then
your mind is starting to figure out, where is this melody going? Is this a chorus? And you start thinking about the music. The music's too busy. Yeah,
right. Isn't that about like even soundtracks in movies? If you notice the soundtrack, then it's probably not good because it's supposed to add but not take away. Yeah,
it's supposed to. Yeah, that's a good point.
Unless it's a boring video, then you're like, soundtrack sucks too. Paying attention to both of it. Okay, so music. That's some good tips on that one. Okay, let's talk voice now.
All right.
How do we do it? No mush mouth. We talked about what else is important.
So when voice, again, if you were to sit here with like one of these and download Audacity for free, it'll show you a band, and it'll show the little recording, and it'll go check, check, right? The little peaks. Have you ever seen this?
No.
I'm going to watch for that top peak to not go above the line, or it's going to distort. And now you're recording a distorted audio, and no matter what you do, you can't fix it. All you can do is cut it out when it distorts, which is weird. So that's important. Don't peak. If you're using one of these, they have gain controls on them.
And you're putting it to your mic, right? For those listening.
Yeah, this is a microphone. Or even if you're talking in your iPhone, you're doing like a little, usually okay. Those are pretty smart about not letting you peak. Yeah. But have you ever noticed if a firecracker goes off, it goes, it breaks up. It's too loud.
Can't handle it.
So, another one about recording sound is the best sound is not that roomy little echoey sound. Like you're in a bathroom at the airport and it's all like the weird echoey. That's not fun to listen to. It's a little distracting.
Because when you get that kind of sound, like people are like, what the hell is going on here? And they're quick to tune out, right? They're like, yeah, where did Casey go?
It's distracting. Or you know what? They don't have to put up with it anymore. I mean, videos have gotten good. If you're not coming with like your A game, they're like, this sounds kind of crappy. Swipe. And so these little padded things.
That's a really good point. Real quick on that. We've gotten so used to Netflix and Amazon being good at shopping that we don't put up with bullshit shopping carts. We've had so much good sound lately. We're not really that patient with sound that doesn't work anymore. Like maybe we were in the old days, like, ooh, I'm just so happy to hear a sound. Like instead of a record player, it's on a tape cassette. Or no, we want it to be crystal clear. And if you can't figure out your mic setting, or if your little thing keeps hitting your lapel, your mic keeps hitting your lapel, and I keep hearing this swishy stuff in my ear, I'm out, man. I'll go find something else to listen to.
If the lighting is really horrible, usually sound was the biggest one. People are like, I can't, what? And they just swipe, just keep going. Yeah. And they don't have to put up with it anymore. And so while it's cool that everyone's using video, it's also getting harder because people have tastes. So,
okay.
But also I want to give you another little sound clip.
Please.
Tidbit is the little foamy things that they sell at the store for like a few bucks a piece, or like a 12 by 12 inch. If you're going to do a lot of, little videos in a room, just go get like 30 or 40 or 50 of them and just put them on the wall around you, and it'll just help the room go to more of a dead sound. Ooh. And that's going to help that
dead sound
room. Yeah. You want the dead flat sound, and then you can mess with it in post, put reverb on there, put echo, you want the nice, flat, crisp sound. That's the sound everybody wants.
Gotcha. So take it down to 0 so you can add stuff in later. You can take control over it as opposed to having to try to deal with the peaks and the car horns and the fire engine and the private jet that one day will have my name on it flying above my head. Like
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it matters. I mean, not everyone has a studio anymore. There's this thing in my head about making it perfect. And I know sometimes these tips are helpful, but also they can make people nervous about do we have to be perfect? It's like doesn't always have to be perfect, but there are some standards, and sometimes I can keep you.
I'm in professional video production, and you're asking me about it. So I'll back up and say, I'd rather somebody just take their phone and set it up against their monitor and talk to it, and then post it somewhere. I'd rather see that than nothing.
Yeah.
I wanted something to get out there, but maybe CPAs, I mean, they never market at all. Neither do they send their bills out. I don't understand that. But, like if a CPA sat there and said, here's some tax, and just had it lean up against the monitor and talk to it right there, I kind of appreciate that.
Me too.
But, you're not going to get to, McKinsey levels or like some of the big accounting firms, doing something like that. So they're going to call somebody like me. But I'm a big fan of do something. Action is everything. Do something.
Right. And more frequently, you mentioned planning for this problem and that problem and this problem, not just I made a video and I'm done. It's like this evolutionary thing where and I guess every time you make one, you'll get a little bit better. Sure. You'll learn something, or work with a team like yours, so you can just skip all those stages. But either way, but do something so you're part of that 79% video that you talked about on the internet. Real quick, what is new wave?
It's a music genre. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about the right words to say. You know, like
Really?
the 80s new wave. That genre of music has like a little, and then the synth comes in, a little lead. That's just new wave pop.
So that just, you're saying that doesn't work for videos?
No, I love it. It's my
you do love it.
I want to push new wave on every video I can.
Really?
It just feels right and looks and sounds awesome.
It's not distracting. It doesn't like get too much.
No, what if you get one with like a little sitar in there? Sure, you can't use that. Or like a flute solo. But we clip everything. I mean, a lot of times the first 20 seconds of the music is perfect, and you won't notice it, but we're looping that.
Oh yeah,
because at the end the sitar solo starts and it ruins everything.
Man, those sitar players, pain in the ass.
I don't know why I'm just bashing them today. I feel bad about it. If you play sitar, I'd like to hear your work, but not on my video.
You heard it here. Calling all sitar players, reach out to Isaac Miranda. He's looking for you to play him a song.
Yeah, I'd like to hear a good sitar solo. Yeah. So what's next? What were we talking about? I'm lost.
Oh no worries. We're staying in tune here. So, what about the camera? You mentioned, hey, just whip that iPhone out. Like, should we be getting a real camera? Where should we play in the video recording? What do you have? What is this? Your laptop?
You know what? No, actually, I went to the store and this is my desktop little web camera that I just picked up at the Logitech.
Oh,
and it was on sale today, and it was a little bit better. My old one was a Vivitar or something, and it was not quite as good. But this is not what I make videos on.
Right.
I would say there's such a diminishing return on cameras, dude. I don't get into big time expensive cameras. I don't have $100,000 camera. I don't think I'll ever want one of those. So
I mean, do you not need it unless you're on like a big screen somewhere? I mean,
you know what it is? It gives you this is a good question from like my editors. I have 2 of them, and then my writer that writes the scripts. So I have a few people. He also is really good at it, does some shots and some film work around town. I kind of leave it to them. They're the camera experts. But I will tell you that this diminishing return, and Casey Cheshire not Casey Cheshire, that's you. Casey Neistat has a great video about this. It's if you
the
look
other Casey. Yeah.
The other, that one you might have heard.
Way cooler. He is a way cooler.
Okay, Casey. But he talks about you spend, here's a baseline camera they're going to spend your, $600 on, and they spend a little bit more and you get a little bit more, and then you spend another $200 and you get this much more. But there's one point where you spend $2,000 more and it goes like that, and it barely increases. It's diminishing returns. And then next thing you know, you bought a $50,000 camera that was only a little bit better than that one. And so we just stay in the prosumer. So pro consumer is like a top of the consumer level of cameras. That's where we hang out. We really don't get into I don't know. I just don't think that's what makes a good video. I think shooting and production value and writing, for goodness sake, is very big. So
yeah, it's like if you can hit a standard, if you can hit something, then good, make the content good. Hit we said with the voice of the audio, have some, it's not terrible, but it doesn't have to be world class. You have to have someone holding a boom mic, unless you hire a good team. But if it's on your own, okay, you get a decent mic and a decent camera, and away you go, or your iPhone. Not to stress over.
We're web and social videos. I want to put this in context.
Yeah.
I make web and social videos. They're marketing pieces to help companies grow and build and do things. This is not theatrical. I don't want someone to go try to shoot a short film with a prosumer camera. Gotcha. Because they do need stuff that they can do in post that's crazy. Once you get those higher level cameras, you can get, like we talked about with audio, the flat line, perfect, flattened out image. And then in post, you got all these options. You can punch things out. But we don't need that. We're not doing theatrical. So, and think about 1080p. Everything is dumbed down to 1080p. In fact, I'm kind of mad about the sound on LinkedIn. Have you noticed how horrible the sound? Hey, listen to your video next time you're about to upload it to LinkedIn. Oh, I like the sound. Upload it to LinkedIn and listen to it again. And you're going to be like, what are they doing? They're just killing the audio
They just compress the shit out of it. Like, what happens?
Yeah. They just cut it down a little bit. That's okay. They got a big platform, but it makes me sad. I just like, is someone thinking that's how I mix that? Because that's not how my video sounded.
Yeah, so like you went to all this trouble to make it better, and then LinkedIn.
Yeah, I get a little miffed about that.
Crap on it.
But that's our little thing that we work inside of. You know, it's that's okay. So
yeah, it's a distribution channel. What are you excited about with video? You've been talking about it for a while. You've been teaching people about it. You've been creating it for a while. Where is it going? What's the future of this?
I think the thing we just talked about, solving problems with video, and using it as when people really start to understand how much faster you can, like, there's companies where a founder started the company and the company grew to like 40 people. And he was able to, okay, day one, go and sit with Susan, the founder of the company, and she'll tell you the story of why she started the company, how, and the passion and the fire at which they will never back down from quality and do the most ultimate job ever. And then person number like 72 gets hired. It's like, I can't do it anymore. And so there, hey, let's record Susan telling her story, the story of the founder, and really go and make it a nice long 20-minute long interview video. And everyone can watch this video your first day, and you still get to meet Susan later. But stuff like that, it sounds impersonable, but what happens is no one hears the story. And you've been working this place for 2 years and you don't really know why they started this company. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. The idea of taking your key moments or the memorable things, the most important stories to your whole culture and memorializing them or like standardizing them so that they're told in that perfect way that you wanted it to be told. Sometimes, we have like a founding story for Ringmaster and I tell it every onboarding time. But wouldn't it be great to actually nail it, right? Yeah. And then have that video available for people to check out, as opposed to, saying it different times. And you're right, after saying that there are a bunch of those employees, she's probably either really good at it or maybe she starts skipping sections because she said it so many times.
Or you get in a room with 20 other people. That's another way to do it. But onboarding stuff is a big deal.
Yeah.
I just talked to somebody this morning that wants that. What about staying up to date? I mean, there are new problems that are happening just this quarter or this last 6 months that are interesting for like manufacturing people. They need to know what's going on. And he's like, this is relative now. It may not be in a year and a half, but we need to voice this and message this now. So that's the kind of stuff that we're excited to tackle a challenge, so.
Yeah. It's like finally recognizing the importance of video and then tying your most important moments and projects to it. So it's like it's finally seeing that realized where in the past, what kind of weak thing could we throw at a video tactic? But now it's like, no, this is really important. We want to solve this problem. And this is a really important thing. The best thing way you could solve that problem in many cases is with a video, because we'll watch that way more than read a blog post or here's a 30-page thesis on this thing. I mean, that's why video is here in the first place anyways. So
the thing that got us pumped up just the other day, this story came back. So we did a video. Plumbing is a very known commodity. It needs to be done. We're always going to need it. It's tough to get plumbers. It's in this town right now. And so they're very in demand, and it's tough to even get people that want to go into trades. We've all heard this problem, right? People aren't going into trades. So we did this video for our client, and it was like their first initiative. And they basically had trucks sitting idle, and they need more plumbers to get butts in the trucks and go help people with plumbing. And we ran it on a couple of platforms that we thought would work to get the right kinds of people. And now they got too many plumbers and not enough trucks.
Oh, wow.
Like,
hell yeah.
Like, yes, man, that's a very hard, very real problem that could have hamstrung them that's talk about killing revenue or opening up revenue. I mean, that makes me feel like we did something real, that
100%.
was the needle for them. So
100%, man. Powerful story, real life story, and something as simple as getting people in the right seat. But man, if those trucks are idle, you're losing money. You're losing, but those trucks are moving, you're growing, your company's growing, you're making money. So video as the money maker. You know, I've known you for a while. I'm a huge fan of all the things you've been doing, but when you really think about it, I don't know you enough. So my next question for you is, who are you? Who are you? Take me back in time. Little Isaac days. What was it like growing up? Did you always know you're going to be the czar, the godfather of video? Tell me.
The dawn of video. The
Godfather video.
Thank you. No. So what was it like? What was I like when I was a kid?
Yeah.
So I grew up in West Texas.
Okay.
And I now live up in Kansas City, home of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Yay, raw, applause, boo, whatever. But I grew up in West Texas and with my brother and mom and grandma. And it was like so completely different than the life I live now.
Really?
You know? I mean, there's some weird stuff about Texas but one
like
of the
West Texas. So it was like
West, like hot, like West Texas, hot, like flat,
like Friday Night Lights.
Yes. Yeah. Like the Central High Bobcats, my high school team played the Permian Basin Panthers. That's those guys. Absolutely. Oh. In fact, they were our arch rivals.
No
way. Had something called the Mojo Magic. And our whole town was horrified of Mojo Magic. Mojo Magic is the Permian Basin Panthers' secret weird mojo in the fourth quarter that they would pull out and just win. And I've seen Mojo Magic, and in fourth quarter, you could be winning and they will come defeat you. So that's where I lived. You know, I grew up in that era. When I was really little, it was like, I'm showing my age here. You would go to the Friday night games and half the town. First of all, you have a pretty small town and this giant, like almost college size stadium, too big. Jeez. But everyone went. And in the crowd, it always smelled like cigars and pipes because the old men with the Tom Landry hats were still alive, you know, and they were going to see probably their grandsons play. And they'd be out and they'd be smoking their cigars and their pipes. And it smelled like football, you know, just an epic memory. But I grew up in that. Do
you think that now? Have you ever smelled someone smoking a cigar outside?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that takes me back. If I'm outside or more so, if it's a crispy football night and you're there at the football, you long for that. Gosh, I wish someone was smoking a pipe right now.
Yeah.
It would smell so good, you know.
Yeah, my grandmother and aunt would smoke cigarettes downstairs in like the family room for Christmas every year, way when I was a kid. And so I don't equate cigarette smoke with like, you know, all the negative things. I think Christmas and also and like some of my buddies in college who would do that too. So I have these like positive memories, but yeah, the idea of like they eventually stopped because they realized this was probably not a good Christmas environment. But I just remember it being like, hey, this is what they did. The old people were doing this thing. And so, yeah, the smell though, right? You really connect you to the
smell is part of it. The smell is part of it.
Wow.
And then kids in Texas is a very hot place, but boys do not wear shorts. Shorts are for toddlers and little girls. Boys wear jeans all the time. And I think back, oh my gosh, we wore jeans. We would jump in the creek and swim around with jeans. We would play football with no shirts on or shoes with jeans. And everyone wore jeans. It's kind of like a cowboy almost thing, I can't explain it.
It was a tough thing, man. You're just tough.
It's just bad. Yeah. Just these kids are, you know, they want to be badasses and they want to. And so but yeah, I remember that. And one day I think I moved up here to Kansas City and I'm like, shorts are okay. It's kind of comfortable. They're kind of, you know, I'm not going to let my Texas friends see this, but anyways, it's the thing of an era, you know, so.
Yeah, these legs are kind of enjoying a nice little pair of shorts here.
I think somewhere in the 90s or 2000s, the Texas boys figured out about the shorts, but in my era, that wasn't happening.
Wow.
So,
well, you don't want the snakes to bite you in your leg.
It's the snake bites. It's the snake bites constantly.
No. So you're growing up in West Texas, and eventually it's like time to go to school, or what are you thinking? Like time to grow up and get a job? What's next?
Yeah. Well, and so I had a really interesting background. I have a theology degree.
No kidding.
Yep. And so
what you guys tell me about this? So like you decided I'm going to go to what school and do theology? How'd that happen?
So that is, so I get into like my high school years, and I had a really good like youth program at my church and a really good leader that was just very influential. And a bunch of us from my little group all went to like Bible college, got a theology degree, which in a way, theology isn't everything. So I use it every day, but I don't use it. I don't know. What's your degree in?
Computer science and communications.
Oh, okay. So kind of.
I went to a Christian school though, and they definitely had like an Old Testament and New Testament class. So,
oh yeah,
but you just went like all in on that. What school?
Yeah, no, I mean we had like theologies, and so
yeah,
all those classes, and it was a master's of science in biblical theology. So
no kidding. So all the way to the masters. Were you thinking of maybe becoming like a pastor?
No. I meant bachelor's.
Bachelor's. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. And MDiv, I wouldn't go for that. Oh, I couldn't handle. Look, I was on academic probation like 4 times. I barely got through. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I went to Olathe North high school. They let me out of there. I just wasn't awesome at school. Yeah. Like, why are they bugging me about this assignment stuff? Why do they want me to do that? I just couldn't ever see what the point was.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because my kids now, I have 2 girls and they're amazing at school, and they read books like 4 times faster than I do already, which they all get from their mother. So
I was going to say, we clearly know where that DNA came from.
Not for me.
Yeah.
For me. So, but
so,
I can read.
Okay. So you go to school for theology, and then maybe you're thinking of, what were you thinking? Did you have like an end goal in mind, or just like, let me just do this?
I came out of a theology degree, and I figured out real quickly that I enjoyed volunteering, like let's say at my church or whatever, more than doing it for a living. So, and so I really, when I put my same oomph and all my mojo and all my just desire and all my into work and like helping a business grow, I quickly discovered, oh my gosh, these people notice and like promote you and crap and give you more money. What is this thing called business? I mean, it was like that, this light bulb moment when I was in my late 20s. And that's so I kind of got a late start in things. I didn't come out 22 like I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Like, no, not really.
Yeah.
But then when I had the why in my late 20s, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. I could do something here, I think.
Yeah.
And the reward. And there's some people that were just really good organizations I worked at early on. And I'm glad I fell into those, because I didn't want to get into business and have a bad taste. So,
yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So then eventually you start your own company.
Yeah. So I'm in finance, and I'm doing helping out people with capital equipment leasing, mortgages, and then capital equipment. And then I had a couple of friends that had a marketing company. And in my company, I was kind of, it's Isaac, you're our unofficial marketing. Basically, everyone would copy all my crap I'd come up with, right? There's like 12 or 14 people on staff doing sales. I'm like, Isaac, give us your, I'm like, am I being compensated for this? So, but I always knew how to chase it down.
Okay.
I always knew how to get in front of it. And so I had a couple of friends that had a lead generation company. One was the owner, and one guy was more like the operator, and people don't want to work together, and the thing fell apart. But they had a model, a website. Here's what we did. Here's the contracts we used. We have no money or no clients, and so basically I acquired that model and took off, and that's 12 years ago. And we started in B2B lead generation. And that's when I started my first company.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Boom.
And it was exciting. But I had the bug for like a couple of years. You know what it was, Casey? I don't know what got you to start your business, but when I was in capital equipment finance, I had gone around to meet like 100 and more than 100, hundreds of business owners. And I'm trying to help them out with capital equipment financing. And as the more I met these people and talked with them, I'm like, they ain't nothing special. They're not working harder than me. I don't think they're even smarter. I could do this, because I thought some of these people are living a pretty sweet life, dude.
Right. They're just people.
They're just people that they understand the risk of the reward thing, and they went for it. And I'm like, well, I'm the most risk averse person ever. Oh, it has like a risk averse means you're not afraid of risk, right? Or is risk averse, I am scared of risk. I get.
Oh, right. Yep.
One of the two, whichever one it is, I'm not scared of risk. And that's what gave me the bug. So for about a year and a half, I know I was like, I'm going to start a business. And then this thing came along with my two friends and I just jumped in. So yeah, that's how I got in.
Never look back.
Yep.
So tell me about TRO then. So who's the ideal customer to reach out? Who do you just rock it with?
Yeah. I mean, we typically work with these companies, small business, small to medium market businesses that need to get a message out. They got something to say. And I would say, we get people all over the country. I would say 60% of our business is in Kansas City area because people sometimes they just hire a video person that's local because they think they're going to want to, and sometimes we shoot and sometimes we don't need to do a lot of shooting for them, but we travel too. And we also have a network of people we use all over the nation. So ideal people for us are, your $1 to $20 million companies. I would say a lot of times not the consultants working out of their basement, the one-man shop anymore. They got clients, a little team, and they value marketing a little bit. That's the starting point. Yeah. I've had people approach me, I want a video, but they've never spent a dime on marketing or hardly any, and they don't value it. And then it just doesn't, they get all uptight. It doesn't work. Yeah. So someone has to understand that marketing is important. And that's a good starting. So usually a $1 million revenue company up to, the really large companies that have so many resources and they know, they're sometimes too cool for school. So we don't work with as many as those.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
People that value the video.
And then we do our backgrounds in technology. So to finish out the story with lead gen and video, we shifted to video about 3 years ago, really hard. So we have B2B lead generation chops. That's where we come from. We think like lead generators. We still think like salespeople, but we're making videos. So that's why when we write and create the videos, we distribute them. We know how to do that, how to get in front of the right people. We understand tip of the spear messaging that would actually get someone to look and think about the video. So that's how that all came about.
It's how the magic is made. All right. Knowing all this about your really interesting history and the path and the journey you've taken, my next question is very hypothetical because I may or may not have a time machine here in New Hampshire.
Oh, so no.
Say you come visit, we get some beer, some lobster, right? And we're hanging out and you get a chance to use this time machine, but it's a particular kind of time machine because it goes back in time and you get to meet yourself a couple of days after graduating with that little theology degree, right? So you get to go meet that version of you, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You can tell yourself anything you want, and the quantum mechanics won't mess up the universe. You won't create Flashpoint, right?
I don't believe that.
And what would you tell yourself? What kind of advice would you give yourself?
So I just got out of college, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would say go buy some Apple stock right away.
100%.
And then I would say,
and knowing what you know about your own strengths,
I think I would not be so high strung about. I was very uptight and high strung about everything I had to do and all I required of myself. And I think I would have said, just go do some stuff and find out what you're good at for a while. Obviously, the ministry industry, not a good place for you. That'd be an easy piece of advice to say. And then I think a lot of stuff I did after college turned out to be a pretty good investment. I went and lived in Florida for a while. It was cool.
Sweet.
Freaking Fort Lauderdale area. It was awesome. And then came back here. And then I had a freaking band that was killer. Nice. Original rock band. That was really, really fun. And then I had a slew of cover bands, and just did that and so I don't regret any of that. That went awesome. But yeah, I would say a couple things of myself for sure. So
Awesome. And then I guess the follow-up to that is, would you listen to yourself if you
Oh,
showed up and saw like older you're like, listen up, kid.
if you put those words I just said into the mouth of someone that was trying to help me, I'd ignore it. Yeah, I'd be like, what do you know? I'm doing something here.
It's like, dude, I'm actually you. Like,
I'm on a minute. But if I knew it was me, yeah, I'd probably listen, because I had to break some of that, just the uptightness, and I just had to be broken of that,
right,
and I had to live it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think if I said it to myself, maybe I'd listen to myself. I don't listen to myself now, so I don't know if I would then, but I've never experienced that. It's a good question.
Cool, man. You'd probably see yourself and go, hey, my hair is still great.
Yeah. Hey, look, you still got your hair. Thank God.
It's still here. So good, man. Where can people, they want to connect with you? What kind of social platforms? What kind of URLs? What places should they go? What videos should they check out?
Great. So we just so TRO Video Production.com is our website, and that can get you going on all things TRO. And the other place would be like LinkedIn. We post most of our stuff on LinkedIn. And so Isaac Miranda is my name, ISAAC. You look me up on LinkedIn and would love to connect with you. And if you look at our recent post from TRO and our LinkedIn company profile is just TRO. We just released like Death Barn is our latest video. So we do videos for ourselves because we want to eat our own dog food. We do content for ourselves.
Like
and this
that.
most recent piece of content is a complete just goofing off. Okay. I don't really have an electric chainsaw that I'm trying to hurt people with, but I do in the video. So it's kind of it's a horror film. We wanted to try an experiment of shooting a whole video on green screen.
Wow.
So, and we have actually, I'm looking at it right now. So we got the green screen in here. And so we went and shot, well, the backgrounds are problematic. What are you going to do? Just use Tombstone and do a Western and then get sued by Warner Brothers and put out a bit? No. So we went and shot all the backgrounds. But then we shot all the action, all the people on this green screen, and we made a green screen video.
Wow.
And so it's called Death Barn. It just came out last week, did really well. And so that if you look us up, you can find that. It's also on YouTube. Hey, our YouTube client, speaking of where to find us, we have a client work channel. So we have a channel for us called Isaac Miranda TRO. Let me double check that.
Yeah, we'll link to it in the show notes too.
Okay, so you can find us on YouTube.
Click right through.
We've got the TRO video that's our own content for us, and we've got a client work channel. And the client work video channel it's got playlists of like construction people, talking head videos, animated videos, so you can see stuff. Awesome. And then last place is those places are a good place to kind of engage with us. So
love it. Well, dude, this has been so much fun. It's so great to sit down with you and tackle a problem like a podcast, but also learn from you. And sometimes it's a little magic piece that an expert like yourself knows, and so it's great to kind of just pick your brain for a little bit. So I just thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. And I've been seeing you do this, and I was like, this is really neat. I know that guy. Like I know this guy. I've been up there. You said lobster roll earlier. When I went up there and met you, I had a freaking lobster roll.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be like a big bun that was hot with like chunks of lobster that were like buttery. And then I thought it was going to be rolled up in something like a sushi roll. And then you eat it this way, like a hot dog. Turns out it's like a hoagie thing with like a cold. Yeah.
There's two kinds though. So you got that kind. So you have to come back and get the other kind. Oh,
okay. Well, what's the other kind?
So the other kind is like a melted butter kind with the toasted bread with the butter. And so you go hot and then you get the buttery kind, or you go the cold kind, you get more of that, like almost like the mayonnaise coleslaw type.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, I was
making me hungry.
I know. I'm getting hungry too. But I was just glad to hang out with you, be on this and experience the whole thing. And I'm learning, like your process of what you're doing here is pro level. And so thanks for having me on and just getting me in your circle of stuff that you're doing. So
yeah, absolutely. I wanted everyone to meet you. This is the perfect way to introduce you to everyone. And speaking of which, if you're listening to this and you learned something, and I freaking know you did, because I literally have pages of notes over here, front and back, then share this episode with one other person, right? One person, 9 people, 4,000 people, whatever. But that's thought leadership, right? It's just get this information into someone else's hands about the magic. Skip the ukulele. Go for that dead sound. Make sure the voice is crisp. You watch out for the mashed potatoes, the video playbook, and the idea. Don't use video. Don't make video. Use video.
There it is.
Amazing,
make
dude.
Video, use video.
Amazing.
That's the takeaway.
Isaac, thank you again, man.
All right, Casey. See you later. Thanks, man.
All right, everybody.
Bye, TV land.
Bye, TV land. This has been another exciting episode of the Hardcore Marketing Show. We will catch you all next time.